Manchester United takeover news recap. Sir Jim Ratcliffe delay as Varane and Casemiro for sale. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's 25% stake in Manchester United has been pushed back and will now reportedly be announced the week after next. United Chiefs were hoping to present the INEOS Chiefs investment before Tuesday's Champions League game at Old Trafford, but a legal requirement has forced a slight delay. In transfer news, United reportedly set to listen to offers for Raphael Varane and Casemiro in January. A number of others are apparently also under consideration, while Jadon Sancho and Donny van de Beek look certain to leave in some form. Casemiro, 31, and Varane, 30, have been at top tilt this season and are both currently carrying injuries. Meanwhile, United got back to winning ways with a 2-1 win over Chelsea at Old Trafford last night. A brace from Scott McTominay, who found the net either side of a Cole Palmer equalizer, sealed a fully merited 3 points for United, who missed a penalty through Bruno Fernandes prior to the aforementioned Scott breaking the deadlock. Manager Erik ten Hag's decision to make 4 changes from the defeat to Newcastle United was fully justified, with the performance much improved. And also, MAIGNAN would consider United transfer, probably not too much in this one. United have been linked with MAIGNAN. The 28-year-old AC Milan goalkeeper is facing a contract dilemma at the San Siro. United spent £47 million on signing Andre Onana this summer. However, due to his indifferent start at the club, other top-level stoppers have started to mooted as potential targets, with MAIGNAN among them. Italian publication Corriere della Sera indicate the Frenchman would be interested in a move to Old Trafford. And also, Gary Neville makes Anthony Martial future point. The makeup of United squad was a hot topic on the latest Stick to Football episode as Gary Neville, Roy Keane, and the other chatted. Neville came up with a theory why United have been reluctant to cash in on Anthony Martial to this stage. They, past United managers, were frightened to death of him going somewhere and doing something. Every manager has had the same problem of him coming back to hurt us. Erik ten Hag drops first hint on Manchester United's January transfer window plans. Erik ten Hag says Manchester United will not have a lot to spend during the January transfer window as things stand, as the Dutchman offers up a first hint on his mid-season plans. United spent £183 million combined on Andre Onana, Mason Mount and Rasmus Højlund this summer to take the outlay since ten Hag was appointed above the £400 million mark. Ten Hag also completed 4 deals on deadline day, including the loan signing of Sofian Amrabat. Manchester Evening News understands the club were initially planning to make 4 key additions next summer. United had earmarked a new fullback, centre-back, midfielder and forward for their shopping list. However, their plans might have to be reworked when INEOS founder Sir Jim Ratcliffe steps into the boardroom. The 71-year-old is expected to complete his 25% minority takeover imminently. As things stand, there is no indication of how that might impact United in the short term, with Ratcliffe to play a lead role in footballing operations as he works alongside the Glazer family, but ten Hag outlined the other factors at play when it comes to striking up business in January. During an interview with United We Stan Van Zien, the Dutchman, 53, said, "I don't think we will spend a lot. As a club, you have to look for improvements, so if you can find better and it's realistic financially and with financial fair play, the club has to go with it. But most of the time you don't attract the best players in the winter." One decision that has been finalized ahead of the market reopening is Donny van de Beek's future. The rarely used former Ajax midfielder, who joined United for £40 million 3 years ago, will be allowed to leave Old Trafford as he considers how to kickstart his stuttering career. Man United boss Erik ten Hag looks to avoid Jose Mourinho repeat after brutal warning. Erik ten Hag is under huge pressure at Manchester United, who have adopted a siege mentality going into a run of games which echo the final days of Jose Mourinho's time at the club. Erik ten Hag is braced for his toughest period as Manchester United manager, and the Dutchman will have to fight hard to avoid following in the footsteps of Jose Mourinho in the coming weeks. A siege mentality has been adopted at Carrington, where journalists have been banned from attending a press conference following coverage the club objected to. Mirror Football were one of 4 outlets to be rebuked after exclusively revealing on Monday that ten Hag is facing a dressing room revolt. There is little Christmas cheer surrounding United as they go into a crucial run of fixtures which could shape ten Hag's tenure as manager. He has been told he has 3 games to save his job, with his future made even more uncertain by the pending takeover by Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
United host Chelsea at Old Trafford on
Wednesday night before another home Premier League game against Bournemouth on Saturday. Ten Hag then has a must-win Champions League match against already qualified Bayern Munich and a derby against Liverpool at Anfield. It's a brutal run of fixtures which, if all goes wrong, could spell the end of his time at the club. And while they have very different personalities and very different approaches as managers, Ten Hag is facing similar problems to Mourinho. The Portuguese boss was sacked on December 18, 2018 following a 3-1 defeat by Liverpool in the Premier League at Anfield. That loss left Mourinho's side 6th in the league, a long way off the pace being set by their rivals, after 17 matches. Ten Hag faces Liverpool on December 17 in what will be his 17th league game of the campaign. Like his predecessor, he will face a team challenging at the top of the table while his side are very likely to be languishing outside of the top 4. Mourinho was dismissed for failing to make progress despite receiving lots of investment in players. The experienced boss had also overseen a souring of the dressing room atmosphere. His dour tactical approach and conservative style had begun to grate and United bit the bullet, paying £18 million to pull the trigger. Speaking to the club-selected journalists ahead of the Chelsea game, Ten Hag has insisted that he is not in a similar position to Mourinho, dismissing the idea of an unhappy dressing room. "I always listen to my players and I always give them opportunities to tell. If the players have a different opinion, of course I will listen," he said. "But they haven't told me, or maybe 1 or 2. Mourinho was dismissed for failing to make progress despite receiving lots of investment in players. The experienced boss had also overseen a souring of the dressing room atmosphere. His dour tactical approach and conservative style had begun to grate and United bit the bullet, paying £18 million to pull the trigger." Speaking to the club-selected journalists ahead of the Chelsea game, Ten Hag has insisted that he is not in a similar position to Mourinho, dismissing the idea of an unhappy dressing room. "I always listen to my players and I always give them opportunities to tell. If the players have a different opinion, of course I will listen," he said. "But they haven't told me, or maybe 1 or 2. Do you think we can make the goals we did against Everton if the players don't embrace it? I am sure the players are behind me. You can see, for instance, the comeback against Brentford, 2-1, the Burnley game, 1-0, the Fulham game, 1-0. You can see you can't play such great football as we did lately if there is no unity." Asked about disorder at United in general, he added, "Not in the dressing room. Of course there are a lot of rumors about strategic review, carried out internally, but it is not that we get distracted by it. We are on a journey, a route. We know we are still in transition, but we are in the right direction. You see it how we construct a team, develop it, the team is progressing, how young players are coming in, and you see the potential how they can contribute to a very successful Manchester United for the future."